If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code @night to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast, recording Friday night, Friday the 13th. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
Ooh, spooky. I'm Root Beer.
Is the jack-o'-lantern behind me good enough for that aesthetic? What?
I think the Ozzy Osbourne is that aesthetic.
The Ozzy Osbourne is more Halloween-ish. I mean, for people listening, they're like, what the fuck is he talking about, Ozzy Osbourne? I have a painting of Ozzy Osbourne that was given to me by a family friend.
Regardless of where you've lived.
Yeah.
It has been in the
moved
background.
apartments and has followed you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to listen to his
He's had
words.
it as long as I've known him. I just want everyone to know that.
Yeah.
And then I have my takodachi in the back. Just staring.
Great.
It's it was given to me like as a gift for college, like, ooh, take this with you for like decoration. And, I don't know, it's a nice gift, and somehow Katie puts up with it. Anyway, we're doing a set review of the new Lyrical Monasterio set, which I guess
I promise we will be more animated for this one as opposed to set 13, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I just want to put like the 8th disclaimer on this now or something like that. That we were not having a good day when we recorded the last set review. Like we'll try and take the time with this one, yeah. So I guess. In
fairness, I think this set is more interesting than that one. I think
ironic because it's One Nation.
Yeah, like. I think set 13 had more in the way of power creep, but a lot of those cards were like boringly competent, right?
Boringly competent.
Wait, what did we not give enough time on the last one? Oh, we just went through it pretty quick. Yeah,
we went through it pretty quick,
and we were just kind of like dead throughout the
what
set
happened?
review.
There was something that happened. I don't remember why.
Okay,
late.
All right, we started late because my dad was in the hospital. I visited him. I was mentally exhausted. I don't know what was happening with you guys. And by the way, he's fine. It's just like at the time I was freaking out.
I was just I just had forgotten. I remember us being like half an hour late at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And at that point I was like, dying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm actively eating dinner right now, and I'll probably be more engaged.
I have eaten the last of the rice in the rice cooker. Press F to pay your respects.
Uh-huh.
How unfortunate.
It means I'd have to make more if I ever wanted more, which is pretty shitty.
I miss rice, but only 18 more days until I can start eating rice again. Yeah. So,
all right,
let's get into it. What do we got here? Go ahead.
This is the worst season for you now that you're on a keto diet. But anyways, Enduring Beauty Herminia. So this is the new version of Herminia. So it's got the dress-up ability regarded as the old one. During your battle phase, if your damage zone has 3 or more face-down card, cost of all the auto ability front row of the powerful ability is reduced by Counterblast 1. And if you and then her powerful ability, if you Persona row this turn, you can pay the cost of Counterblast 1 instead. At the end of battle attack, if your soul has no card, discard a card with Herminia in its name, or Counterblast 1 if you Persona rowed, and stand all of your front row rear guards with the powerful ability.
So, to my understanding, this means that it would then be free, right?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay, so it does apply that way.
Yes, it's because it's continuous ability, and she does indeed have powerful.
Mm-hmm. Stand all of your front row rear guards, so she can't stand herself, but all the rear guards, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the old one just restood one thing for discarding a card and reduces the next counterblast by 1. This reduces all counterblast by 1 and restands 2.
That's pretty cool.
Well, if you have 3 or more face down, anyways.
Right. And then one more question I had. So during the fight, that means that because it's not all the time, you can have 4 copies of each, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, and then
nice.
Yeah, and just a reminder, there is a grade 2 that gets like 10k and a drive check. So yeah, when it attacks, if your soul has no cards, you counterblast 2, it gets 10k, and then if you have a greater Herminia, it performs drive check. So that one card could potentially drive check like 2-3 times, depending on how many copies you have.
I mean, the new Bastion lets grade 3s twin drive on rear guard, so that's like no skin off, not no skin off my back. Like this is good, but
yeah,
it's
probably
within
like
reason.
In terms of power, I feel like Bastion is decently comparable. Although you're not playing a deck made up entirely of grade 3, so your shield values might be better.
Right. And you don't have to like awkwardly play stuff that gives itself shield for this or that reason.
But yeah, I've never been super into the powerful deck, but this seems strong.
I kind of... Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go.
No, you.
Oh, okay. Great. Now that we're arguing, I forget what I was going to say. Just go!
I know. I was going to say. I just think this card's. I like this card. It does things. I think you get 5 attacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Already solid.
Yeah. And
it's just like every other card, and it's free. Free is nice. Now you just need a bunch of advantage to get elsewhere. Of cards with a powerful ability.
Right. Are there enough like cards with a powerful ability to make this worthwhile, or is it the thing where it's like, we got 3 of these things, and good luck?
There are enough. This is like the 3rd wave of support now.
Okay, good.
Pretty good.
Powerful is powerful. This you brought this up when it was revealed, and I find it incredibly interesting, and I'm bummed that we had to skip the episode that week. But Matt,
because your dad was dying for the 2nd time, except not really.
Shut up.
Organized Sayana. So she has some kind of a bag on her head or something. I am disappointed that the special rarity removed the bag. That was the worst part of that.
Cowards.
I know. So she has a continuous on Vanguard circle. If the total number of units on your opponent's front row rear guard circles and guard circles 2 or less, she gets critical +1, drive +1. It's weird that it includes guard circle, but sure, whatever. And then Vanguard, when this unit is attacked, put a trigger unit from your hand into soul. This unit gets power +15,000 until end of battle. And then auto on Van. At the end of the battle, this unit was attacked by a rear guard. If a card was not put in the guard circle for this battle, your opponent chooses a card from this hand and they may discard it. If they do not discard it, bind the rear guard that attacked.
Okay.
So,
all right.
This card seems like cheeks.
Why do you say that?
So it actually doesn't it actually loses the crit, assuming your opponent I don't know, guards at all. I guess I have to guard with 3 or have guard with 2 with a rear guard. And it gives your opponent a lot of control of the situation. You have to eat a trigger unit, which means you're losing some amount of shield. And then
it's the same amount of shield.
Oh yeah. So you're trading shield to your opponent, I suppose.
Yeah,
and then
you
it has
also
this weird pseudo defensive ability that really just works to serve as a way to enable its first ability. Oh, sorry. When this unit is attacked. Oh, from hand into soul. Yeah. What is the point?
Okay. Here's what I'm getting from this. I'm going to pretend I didn't listen to Root Beer's report from last week because, for all intents and purposes, I didn't. I listened to half of it because I got distracted. Anyway, so that second ability, when it's attacked, you put a trigger unit from hand to soul, it gets 15k shield. So triggers have 15k shield as the default, but you have things like draw triggers where they have less shield because they're supposed to draw you a card. But because that works on any trigger, it means you turn draw triggers into more shield. And you get soul to boot. Now, granted, I don't know how much you can utilize the soul in the rest of the deck. But it's probably going to be useful for something. The
Sure.
first ability to get an extra like drive check and a crit is Matt. I agree with you on this. Where like it seems kind of bad because your opponent can turn it off if they decide to. Although that last ability is defensive power creep, which I like in terms of card design.
You still have to actually like guard the unit, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's not gonna be like taking down regionals anytime soon. But the fact that they're going into this as a ride line means that at the very least this is on their mind, and I think that's a good sign for Vanguard on the whole.
All right.
This kind of stuff. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like you could theoretically like play a draw and like just try to hit a bunch of stuff, but like you also want the other triggers to like win the game at some point. So like if your goal is to win the game at some point, you're probably playing a fair number of crits anyway.
Yeah, or you do like a 6-6 split or something.
Like the good old days.
Yeah,
We're playing Overlord again, guys.
Yeah.
And like you're still on 3 attacks, right? Unless there's like specific.
This deck is
units.
stuck on 3 attacks.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
Yeah. So I think my take on it when I made the video was like cautiously optimistic. I think it is good against decks that like have to restand their rear guards because it means either they have to stop attacking you or like get rid of their hand. But problems I see is one is that 15k is kind of small. Like once you start getting into Persona Ride, basically everything hits over. So you have to play like blitz orders, and I realized that a lot of the blitz orders were bad once I started trying to test the deck.
That's unfortunate.
That is.
Yeah, one thing too is like even if you're playing a bunch of draws, the cards you're drawing into you aren't really giving you shield that matters because numbers are so big. So you never have to trade a whole bunch of cards to even guard things that
Yeah.
One of many attacks.
I think the hope is that you just like wreck your opponent's hand before it gets that far.
Yeah.
So I think it works on things like Bastion and Leonorn where they like have to restand something, and so they're just like shredding through their hand really quickly.
Flag Verge. Trying to think of like other decks that do that sort of thing. Right?
But it also has to be a deck that like is not only like it's re-attacking you, but also cards that just doesn't have the cards to spare, right? Like Bastion sometimes just has the cards to spare.
Yeah.
And there's like, yeah, sure, I'll do this card one. I don't give a shit. I'm beating your face in.
And then like as for the other one, like most of the rear guard support just bounces stuff back to the hand, so like you can at least get rid of their rear guard so that doesn't happen for them to turn it off, so it's just like a pseudo battle
they have
effect.
to like they have to like triple guard it. That's fine.
So yeah, I think this card is like okay. It's certainly the most interesting card in the set. Not sure if strong.
I wish my biggest complaint about this card is that the foil doesn't have the mask. That's actually my biggest complaint.
Yes. Also, I think this deck gets eaten by things like Youthwork that don't care about their rear guards very much.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, sure, whatever, take them. I don't care. It's also weird that like it's a when this is attack, put a trigger in your hand and just all get 15k. So you can only do it once per battle.
Yeah.
Like if you have like multiple draws in your hand, you can't be like, I'm gonna shove 3 draws for 45k.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are very reliant on like blitz orders of which you can only play one.
Yeah. The one order per turn thing is so awkward with regards to blitz orders.
Yeah, we should probably do something about that.
You would think, right, that they would have made that second effect both offensive or defensive. I feel like that would have gone a long way.
Like the when this unit attacks or is attacked.
Or is attacked, yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing that struck me on that card is like it doesn't do that at all. Like it doesn't get any power, right?
Yeah.
Nope. They went defensive and they meant it.
Okay, they're getting closer. Now
Yeah.
they just need to do both.
Yes.
Either that or like the first ability applies to the whole front row, so they have to like pseudo battle door your row if they don't want to get hit with a crit.
Right.
Oh, that'd be funny.
That would be kind of neat. Where, yeah, you can just shred hands that way, or
Mhm.
give them a fourth attack. Now, granted, this is brand spanking new, so who knows? Maybe the second wave of support ends up either making it halfway playable or breaking with it. All right. So I like how the card that I ended up stuck with is just Stoicheia enough where it looks like I would be doing this anyway.
True. It's a forest dragon, by the way.
Okay. Colored Bop Dragon Walbregia. So grade 3. When placed on... Okay, so this is the another
Grade 4 cycles.
Yeah, grade 4 cycle. So placed on rare guard circle, either reveal a grade 4 or your Vanguard's grade 4. If it's on rare, you counterblast and draw, and it gets plus 10k. If it's on guard circle, it gets 15k shield, and then if you discard it for stride or ride deck, draw a card. So pretty simple.
Pretty standard.
Yeah,
I think this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
it is.
They do like making lyrical cards that just draw for free.
Yeah. I mean, it's not free, but you also get a 23k beater as like an additional thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, Bushi.
Pretty cool.
All right, time for that encounter.
All right. So first we have Top Idol Pacifica. So grade 3, 13k. Act, Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1, put a card from hand to the bottom of the deck, and draw 2 cards. And then when it attacks a Vanguard, you can Counterblast, Soul Blast a card with Pacifica, search your deck for up to 1 normal unit, call to an open rearguard circle, and shuffle the deck.
Open? All right.
Yeah, open.
All right.
I mean, it's Pacifica. They just took the, Mega Blast and then made it, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. And you only get to call 1 thing instead of 3.
If I remember correctly, yeah. So was it on hit from the Mega Blast you called 3?
Yes.
Okay.
On hit, Soul Blast 8, Counter Blast 5, search 3 Bermuda Triangles from deck and call them to separate rearguard circles.
Was that open?
No, that one wasn't open. I think we hadn't invented that concept yet. Back in the first.
They had to
Lyrical
wait
booster.
2 sets to make Spike Brother cards.
Mhm.
All right. What do you think about this one?
It seems pretty whatever.
Yeah, I'm not excited about this one.
Yeah, I tested it. It's kind of meh. I'm more interested in this for premium purposes than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, what is this?
You can run 1 copy and 3 of the V version because the V version is typically better. But on Heltrauda specifically, if you can't activate Fantastic Passion Pacifica because you don't have 3 different names in your hand, this is a way to get 7 attacks.
Oh, neat.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool. All right.
Also, unfortunately, it will not activate Persona Ride going on top of the V version.
Damn. What if the V rides on top of it? I assume not, right?
No, they both need to have the Persona Ride icon.
Damn. What a shame.
I looked it up to be sure because Area just makes a Persona Ride anyways because Area sucks.
Right. See, also every time we've complained about that. If somebody wants to make a supercut, please be our guests.
All right. So next we have a Yu-Gi-Oh card named Triple Trick Fennel.
What makes this a Yu-Gi-Oh
except triple
card?
and trick are both spelled with upside down with regular exclamation points, or upside down eyes if you wish. Whatever. Anyway, so this card says during your turn you may play 3 orders, but you cannot play orders other than trick and treat or a View Regalis piece. And we'll read trick and treat afterward. Give me a second. So auto, when this unit attacks, if you played 3 or more orders this turn, you can counter +1, choose one of your rear guards. Until end of turn, that unit and this unit gets critical +1, and all your front row units get power plus 2,000 for each trick and treat in your drop. So trick and treat is a grade 1 order. You may have up to 16 in a deck.
Oh, not this shit again. Okay.
You play it if you have a Vanguard with Fennel in its card name. Perform either of the following according to the number of times you've played an order with the same name as this card this turn. One time, your opponent chooses one of the rear guards and you may put it at the bottom of their deck. If they did not put a card, you draw a card. 2 times, you draw a card and countercharge 1. 3 times, you choose up to 1 grade 3 or less rear guard from your drop and call it to rear.
So it's like Gravidia mixed with Zorga.
Yeah, kind of.
Thanks, I hate it. Like,
I think this is very funny.
Yeah. As far as I know, this is locked to 3 attacks. I'll admit this is one of the decks that I did not take a huge interest in.
That's fair. Well, she's got a pumpkin hat.
Yeah.
and I have.
It is very cute.
Look, I already don't like Lyrical Monasterio as a concept, but this is like even worse.
What don't you like about the whole
16
16 orders?
I think the most ridiculous part is it's trick and treat, not trick or treat.
It's
That's
both.
actually the most frustrating part.
It's supposed to be like cutesy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's trying to be sweet and sour.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Is that why her name's Fennel?
Maybe.
I don't
What
think
does
I've
fennel
had
taste
fennel.
like? I don't know.
It's
Yeah, I don't
licorice.
have really taste.
Licorice.
Oh, it's licorice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I've never
It-
actually had fennel before.
Tastes like the jelly bean that gets left for last, or what else is licorice in?
Although Zeus only spelled with one L, but you know.
Makes sense. Maybe she's it's a proper noun. Maybe they did something with the name. It's like how they'll like misspell a name just to make it original. I don't know. I'm being stupid.
I like
All right.
I like black licorice. I don't know about the rest of you.
I don't
think-
have it often enough to have a strong opinion.
All right. At least there's no more encounter cards coming up.
Boy.
Surprise,
All
motherfucker! Yeah.
All right, Planet Idol Pacifica. So, if you have continuous back row center. If you have a Vanguard with Pacifica in its name and can attack from the back row, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets 10k. At the end of the battle that attack, if you have a Vanguard with Pacifica in its name, you can put it into Soul, choose one of your units, and it gets fire plus 5,000 until end of turn. And then if it was put from row center into Soul, draw a card.
Not bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is how you get all the Pacificas in your soul for the other Pacifica.
Yes. So this is also like a 4th attack, which then turns the top idol into a 5th attack. I really like this card, again, primarily for premium purposes. It is another Pacifica name, which means you don't have to play the original Planet Idol anymore.
Nice.
I don't remember what the original Planet Idol does. I'm gonna look it up right now. Oh, I remember this one. Never mind, ignore it.
I can't remember if it was the break ride or if that was the one with the limit.
No, it was the Planet Idol was the 10K. Or that was
No,
Top
that's
Idol.
Top
What am I
Idol.
looking at? What?
No,
Why does Planet Idol go to Top Idol?
because this wiki is bad. But yeah, Planet Idol was the break ride. So that was the one where when you ride on top of it, your Vanguard gets red text. When a Bermuda Triangle is returned to hand from Rearguard Circle, you can search your deck for a Bermuda Triangle, call it,
I forgot this card existed.
and it's once per turn. But it's basically an 11k vanilla, so I just appreciate not having to play an 11k vanilla anymore.
That's pretty good.
That is
Yeah.
pretty nice.
And for purposes of premium, it is an additional attack, because it can attack from back row center, and then so on stride turns, it's just an extra attack. It means you can do more on like Heltrauda turns, or if you're doing like the other Fantastic Passion Pacifica that gives all of them like 5k and back row attack, and this is just at plus 15, and then it can give something else 5k to try and end the game. Like, I really like this one. It does things.
It's okay. So, this is basically Gallaudet from
What?
Stoichea. So Gallaudet is this grade 2 that's meant to work with Magnolia, which is when you ride a Magnolia in the ride phase, you can put it from drop zone into Soul, and your Vanguard gets 5k from the turn. And then the other effect is when it swings from the back row, it gets plus 10. And then if it's in the center, you can retire it to draw one.
I
This
mean,
is like
doesn't-
90% that.
It doesn't have the part where it cycles itself, but yeah, it's just like big. It attacks from the back row, which is a lot for premium because it means you actually get to do things with the deck.
Yes. It's very nice.
Also, if you're on V top idle and you happen to be going first, you can just make like 2 additional force gifts and then have a triple door with 4 attacks.
Oh, that is
which is like a nice turn 3.
Mm. Well done. And then surprise, there's another one.
Yeah, so we also have prism encounters.
Sure.
Just gonna there. Anyways, Prism Promise Labrador. So, act once per turn. You can Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rear guards, return to hand. This unit gets 5k until end of turn. And then when it attacks, Counter Blast 1, choose up to 2 cards with Prism in their names, call them to open rear guard circles. If you call a card, draw. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all of your front row get 5k, and this unit gets critical +1.
Okay.
Sure.
Finally,
a good Bermuda card.
I remember you freaking out about this earlier this week.
Well, I mean, this is like shit for premium, right?
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, the problem with premium is just like gifts. Like gifts are just too strong. Having to wait for Persona Ride to get the extra 10k is like way too slow.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that wasn't a factor, like Heltrauda and or Sunshine Vert means that you can basically just do this anyways. But front row is only getting 5k as opposed to all of the V Prism cards that get 10.
Mm.
But yeah. So like this is kind of a case of just like because I'm going to blame V. Like V went in a completely different direction and made all of the Prism cards do things that Prisms have never done. And so you have this like very frustrating island of like the V Prism cards that need the bind zone to do anything. And then the entire rest of Prism's history, which is bouncing cards to and from your hand. Including now this, where they've, you know, because D encounters have stuck generally closer to their original forms. Like, the original Labrador basically did this, I think, because it was like, when it attacks, you can call 3 Prism to separate open rear guard circles, and if you call 3, it gets 10k in a crit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is, like, very close to the original, right? And so I just blame V for completely changing directions for no reason.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
And there was no, like, they never did, like, a Labrador V.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
No, because V, like, died after that Bermuda set.
Gotcha.
So we've been going, like, one set at a time, and they've stopped printing V support, and every wave of V has been a different archetype since, like, they started doing the clan selection thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you know, fuck V. That is the correct conclusion to draw from this. Anyways, for standard, this seems like fine, right? Like it gets you 5 attacks. You draw a card. Both the other Prism units that were introduced this set gain 5k on their own in addition to Labrador's 5k, so you're just going +10. So, especially once you start getting to Persona Ride, you have some pretty good numbers. And you can also just, like, call them to the same column if you think your numbers aren't big enough, right, for fewer attacks.
Right.
It was just kind of a case of like, well, I need something to get through just to make pressure. So yeah, for standard, I like this card a lot. It's just, you know, fuck V.
Fuck V. The official slogan of Nexus at Night. All right. Full Moon Magic Fortia. It's grade 3. So you dress up along with Mimish Fortia. This is a friend. Continuous on Banner Rear. If you have another unit in the same column as this unit, that unit and this unit become friends. And if you have 3 or more other friends, this gets an extra drive. And then auto on Van once per turn. If you Persona Road this turn, this cost may be played with Counterblast 1 and discard a card. At the end of the battle that this unit attacks, if you have 5 or more other friends, discard a Fortia in its card name, stand this unit, and it gets drive -2.
Not bad.
So you got to restand, although this seems a little labor intensive. to set up.
Well, needs one additional friend column, right? Like in itself.
You need to have 5 other friends, so you need a full board.
Yeah. So 3 or more for,
you need
for
5
the
or more
drive,
for the
5 for the restand.
Got it.
Yeah.
5 is a lot.
Yeah.
No.
But some of the friend cards are like pretty good on their own.
Yeah. I think Friend has a lot of strong cards, and they, more importantly, they have cards that return cards to your hand, so you don't get your board wiped.
That is nice. That's
Also,
always
Melty
good.
is a friend card.
That's
I'm sure we all
true.
forgot about that.
No, I
Nice.
did not actually.
Yeah, I know Melty is a friend card. I'm trying to figure out what. Because there was like one from set 3 that was also pretty good. I just ended up never actually playing Friends during that set, even though I think it was actually like decent. There, Roxella. So it's like when it attacks, if you have 3 or more friends, it gets 5k, and then you have 5 or more, you can choose a rear guard in the front ability that's not in the same column and return it to your hand. So you have ways of like protecting your board.
Gotcha. And then just fuck them, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Go for the restand. I think as long as you can look on paper, this looks kind of not good for it, but if you can make it work, you can make it work.
Yeah.
Also,
Also, like the original had the same requirement, I'm pretty sure.
right? Yeah, like God
Yeah.
knows that Peace Reliance decks can win stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you can reach those pieces, then that's barely a weakness. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how consistent you are at hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, like getting drive +1 is just means that like the restand doesn't minus you as much.
Right.
Although I think in terms of net cards to your hand, it's the same as the original, but because it's getting drive -2. But like, so yeah, you're doing 4 drive checks as opposed to 3, but you're only discarding 1 card. No, this is plussing. The other one also only discarded 1.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, you're just going +1 compared to the original. So this is just a strict upgrade to the original. It doesn't get the 5k that the original did, but I think the extra card probably matters more.
Yeah. Okay. So good, I guess.
So many triple R's in this set.
There are a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to say the like spiel that we usually do about like going through the triple R's all the way
You
down.
read all the
double
high
R's,
rarity cards,
blah,
but
blah,
that's like
blah.
half this set.
Yeah. So whatever, that's all good. The last set review was close enough to where I don't think that's a big problem. And
Yeah.
if you didn't listen to it, please go ahead. It's like watching 3 people who you've roused out of a sound sleep. And it's like, wait, we gotta go. You gotta catch a bus. You're like, what? Oh, okay. This is happening.
All right, so since we started over the order after I did all the encounters, does that mean it's just me again?
If you want, do you want me to double up since you?
I can try
or
to
Matt
pronounce this
can?
card.
All right. Yeah, let Matt do it. That's cool.
Alright, so this is Revrusuru Shadumot. We're gonna go with that. So it's an act on Van. Count +1, choose up to 2 grade 2 or less cards with that in their card names from your soul. Call them to rear, and he gets power. And this unit gets power +5. And then an auto on Van when it attacks while not boosted. Choose up to 2 or 3 of your grade 2 or less rear guards with that in their different card names. Until end of turn, decrease their power to match the power of this unit. If this unit's power is 36,000 or greater, and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can Soul Blast 2. Till the turn, the rear guard in the back row center column that is chosen by this ability can attack from the back row and perform drive checks.
Okay, I was barely listening to this entire effect because that name looks like something that Elon Musk names his kid.
Almost certainly.
Okay, wait. Going back and reading this again to myself. Somebody, please.
Okay, so basically, you counterblast 1. It's like Dimension Police and Pale Moon in 1 card. So you get the Laverne Burton. I can't even
That's what
pronounce
we're
his
calling
name.
it.
Laverne Burton.
I don't know. I don't think I even pronounce his name right.
I'm
It's
sticking
like-
with it. That's fine. Laverne Burton.
It's
That's
like-
the name.
Leverus.
There are too many emojis in this fucking name to understand what
There's
the
a
name
lot.
is.
There's a lot.
Like, Burton, what is your name?
Anyways,
Let's
his
just
name
call
is
it
LeVar
LS.
Burton.
We should call
I'm
it
getting.
LS.
I can't even get my joke right.
LeVar Burton, like from Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should call it LS. That's what we should call the archetype.
Okay,
Yeah,
see, now you're making it sound like an STD, and somehow that's worse.
No,
Like,
LS is worse. It's a league streamer.
oh, okay. I mean,
no, I think I-
STDs are doing a lot these days. I hear now. Stupid.
But yeah,
okay,
so
not-
you call the archetype. So you can call up the two of them.
LS,
and
yeah.
then yeah. Let's do LVS, just
yeah, LVS.
Sure,
that's fine.
LVS.
yeah. So then she gets 5k. So the idea is like you boost her up to at least 33k so that and then all of them will copy that power. Whatever's in the back row center can attack from the back row and perform a drive check, so you're getting extra pluses.
Okay. This just seems like a better version of Graham Grace.
Kind of, yeah, because you're just concentrating all of the power onto the Vanguard and then copying it out to the archetype name.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of end up in this place where it's like, okay, so you're like 33, 33, 43.
Mm-hmm. Now, granted, it's xenophobic compared to Graham Grace, which can do that on anything, but still, just seems more cohesive.
Yeah, it is a bit faster, and then the entire archetype is contained in the ride line, so you will always have them in soul at least to start with. And then there's a bunch of cards that can like put them back into the soul if they end up in the drop zone.
Good.
So really, like the hardest part is just trying to get this to 33k because it can be a little piece reliant sometimes. It gets like part of the way there on its own, especially if you persona ride. You only need one other boost.
It's true. Although one downside is you can't like have trigger power be.
Yes, you can.
Wait, is that end
It's
of battle?
It's when it attacks. So it attacks, you increase the power to match itself, and then anything afterwards just gets added on.
Okay. Oh, until end of turn, increase or decrease.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Why would it be until end of battle? It's when it attacks.
It wasn't so much that. I more mean the trying to hit that 33 threshold for itself.
Yeah. No, of course the 5k is end of turn. It's an act ability.
No, never mind. Forget it. All right. Me again or you?
You.
Okay, so Jacko Parade Talithius. It's grade 2, 10k. When placed on rear, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and you may return it to hand. Oh my god. Removal. No. And then auto on rear when it attacks a Vanguard. If you have a Vanguard with Sienna, counterblast 1. It gets plus 5k until end of the battle for each of your opponent's open front row rear. And if it was 10,000 or more, draw a card. Cool.
So we'll probably always get 10k.
Yeah, counterblast 1 draw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get 10K.
Counterblast 1 plus 10k draw. It's like fine. Like again, the core problem with Sienna is just like no real win condition. Like sure, your rear guards get decently big because they all get like 5-10k, but it's like none of them get crits. They don't have any extra attacks. You're just really hoping your opponent discarded enough to like for that to like matter.
Yeah.
Which is not always going to be the case. Either their rear guards are disposable enough or they just attack so much that they can maybe kill you.
That's like Silhouette Man, where it's like, cool, 4 attacks, and they're kind of big, but it's like, then what?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So yeah, I think this card is very good, don't get me wrong. It's just like a bunch of power, advantage, a bit of... it is removal of a sort, just to make like Sienna work. You are giving your opponent cards back in their hand, but it's like, do they really want to guard with those if they're going to call them back to rear guard next turn?
Yeah. It's, you know, obviously beside the point or whatever, but if by some miracle Sienna gets fucking viable in premium, then you can use this to punish Excel decks. Again, like, probably never ever going to happen, but that's a thing.
That's the other thing about Sienna is you also have some leeway with her bind ability by just taking the hit.
Right. That's true. So, you know.
I don't know. Like, I think Sienna is, like, depending on what's meta at the time, has the potential to just be anti-meta. Where if your opponent is being too aggressive early, you can just either, like, keep wiping their board or destroy their hand.
Cool. So, yay. Time for bubbles.
All right. Soaring Bubble, Penelope. I hate this.
Why? Because it's a mermaid? Or
No, because of the name, like the name Penelope.
because it's a pun?
No, it's just like we were very close to it being a real name, right?
Penelope?
Like Penelope,
Yeah.
the real name.
Why does it have
like,
2 P's?
Yeah, like it's just Penelope.
It could also be Penelope.
Yeah.
I guess, but
Like that doesn't help at all.
no, it doesn't.
It's still that thing where like you want to pronounce it Penelope, but then you realize there's no E and there's just the second P.
I think it's actually Penelope.
Penelope.
Like cantaloupe?
Yeah.
We're just making it worse the more we argue about it.
Penelope.
Penelope.
Whatever, I hate this name. But anyways, during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Kyrie in its name, it gets 5k.
Hey, yo, Kyrie?
Yeah. When your other front row rear guards returns in your hand by the ability of a grade 3 or greater Kyrie, Soul Blast 1, stand all of the rear guards in the same column, and if your Vanguard is grade 4 or greater, all of your front row units get 5k.
Okay.
Hey, it's grade 4 Kyrie support.
I know.
It also means you can bounce a column and then have a 2 full column restand instead of just the front row.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah. And it gives like 5k to your front row, so it's just like more power. Basically becomes equivalent to Persona Ride. There we go.
There you
This
go.
is kind of dope.
That is
Yeah.
very good.
And
though
also-
you have a stupid name.
You can also like combo it with a piece of Lilfa support, because one of the Lilfa cards was like if a card is returned to your hand, you can like counterblast, put it into soul, and then call something from your hand. So it's a way for you to make a 5th attack early, which has been around since set 3, but Lilfa was so bad, and I think Kyrie was also just so bad at that point that no one bothered to think about it.
Happens.
I don't even know what to tell you at this point. All right. Cool. We're still in the triple R's. Isn't that
Yeah, we
crazy?
are.
Yeah.
All right, so next
All
card
right.
is One Night Witch Stareja. So this has a grade 2 when it's placed on a rear other than by a unit card's ability. Interesting. If you played a normal order this turn, you can Soul Blast 1, look at top 5, reveal up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, call it to rear. If it's a unit card, put it in your hand. Call it to rear if it's a unit, and put it in your hand if it's a normal order. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if it was placed this turn, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, and it gets +10.
So basically, it's the lyrical equivalent of these.
Yep.
Sure.
and it's other than it's basically was like, okay, you can't just keep playing it off its own ability, basically,
Mm-hmm.
because that'd be silly.
Yeah. So, they had the like order cycles from set 11. So this is just that because Lyrical only gets 2 sets a year, so they have to just cram all of the generic cycle cards that they come up with.
Okay.
Why is this listed as a triple R?
All right.
Oh,
Vivid Night Festival Aurealis. So grade 1, 8k. When placed on rear counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or less card LVS in its card name, reveal, put it in your hand and shuffle. And then act on rear. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with LVS in its card name, rest this unit, choose a card from your drop, put it into your soul, and give your Vanguard +5k. Cool.
So this is the way you recover archetype names if you happen to get them retired.
Yeah.
Because
I really like the art on this one. Not about her but about the place that she's in. She looks like she's on a college campus in the 1800s or something.
Well, all of the lyrical cards kind of look like that, but it is a nice sunset.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyways, this card is good. It's like a free way to get 5k, and like I said, a way to just recover names if you lost them from Soul.
Yeah. Not
Anyways, skipping the next one because Yuika is a reprint. I don't know why it's listed in the triple R category.
bad. I mean,
Is it Oh, it is a reprint. What the fuck?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then now we've hit the kitty
Yeah.
ride line helper, which they made it an actual animal and not a girl somehow.
Yeah.
Upsetting.
I mean, they've been going a lot harder on the furries in this set. Like,
What's it
there's a
do,
bunch
though?
of a bunch of the random common cards are like more furry than the previous sets. But anyways, yeah, they kept with the theme of these being little critters. So Rainbow Jeweled Beast Operice, I think is probably some play on like opals because they're all named after gems.
Right.
So same thing where you take 2 cards from Solar Drop that are in the ride deck, put into the ride deck face up, and then perform one of the following according to the circle. So Rear Guard, choose a card of the same name as your Vanguard from Solar Drop, put it into your hand, so it just fetches you a Persona ride, or it gets 15k shield.
Not bad.
Not bad
Yep.
at all.
Like, I think these are always playable at like 1 or 2 just by virtue of being like a 15k shield.
And
Or
the first
20K
one draw
shield.
is always good.
Mm-hmm.
I know part of me, like I did a case split in 12 and I got the Stoikea one and I'm like, do I run this in Mass Magnolia or not? Because like it gives you soul charges, which is helpful, especially with the amount of soul blasting you do early.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I feel like if you're in a place where it's like, I have 49 cards and I need a 50th, it's worth playing just being a 20k shield.
that's true. And you don't have to have that weird thing of like keeping a Magnolia somewhere in Soul for Mask. You can just be like, all right, fuck it. So cool.
Yeah.
It's Master.
Prank
Right.
Explorer Crispina. What a name.
Yeah.
Grade 1. When it's placed on rear, you can kind of +1. Search your deck for up to 1 trick and treat. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Search your deck, shuffle the deck. And then
Deck or drop.
deck or
important.
drop, my bad.
Not bad.
So if you're out of one of your 16 trick and treats, you can grab one from drop. I'm sorry.
There's no way you're playing. There's no way anyone's actually playing 16 of this.
I would. Big meme. Continuous on rear during your turn. If your drop is 3 or more trick and treat, it gets power +5k.
Nice.
Okay. This is the most boring card they could have printed for this. Actually.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't actually test the trick and treat deck, so I couldn't tell you how good or bad it was, but this seems like fine, right?
Yeah, it seems. I mean, if you're playing trick and cheat, you're playing this card 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it sure does exist.
Finally, we've made it to the double R's.
Yeah. We can skip the next one because it's just the over trigger.
Yeah.
The same over trigger as before.
Yeah.
Yes.
And cool new
Well,
art.
there's
on it,
already
though.
like 6
Very-
of them, so it's not like they need more.
Yeah, I do like the art on it though. It's very demonic looking.
Sure.
I don't know. I like when they do like when they were doing these are reprints where it's literally the same card but it's a different name and a different
Yeah.
art. And it's like I don't know. I thought that was like a neat way to do reprints. That's not just all right. It's the same thing but it's common now, or it's the same thing but a different rarity. They really like played with it. And I think that's cool. Anyway, Starry Witchcraft.
Is that as demonic as this card?
No. Well, okay, Roseanne from real life,
True.
maybe. It's right on the fence. Starry Witchcraft Roseanne is grade 3, double R. Auto on rear, when this unit attacks grade 3 or greater Vanguard, put a card from hand into soul, look at top 2, choose a card from among them, grab it, and put the rest on bottom. So
This card's not real, right?
This is a Hexa Orb card. What is this?
Who's this for?
I mean,
Why is this a double R?
another
This-
in a long line of double R's that exist for some reason.
Like, who wants this?
Why would he wear these? Who would make these for him? This looks like a
I
comp,
don't
doesn't it?
understand.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this card existed until just now. And I've been like following
Who
the
asked?
lyrical reveal.
Who asked for this?
I don't know. We can
Jesus.
ask that about a lot of double Rs that get revealed every set.
That's true. It's so tiring.
You just
It
kinda-
doesn't do anything.
It cycles a card from hand into soul. It's soul charging.
Please shut
You-
up. Please shut up. Please shut
I-
up.
I don't know what to tell you. That was like such a waste of time. I'm doing another one. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
I'm ignoring that card.
Decorate Shiny Hearse is a grade 3 with 10k. So something's happening.
Uh-huh.
So when this unit is placed on rear from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Lilfa in its card name, choose up to one grade 2 or greater card with a different card name from this unit from your hand, call it to the back row. It gets boosts until end of turn. If you called a card, perform one of the following. If it's your main phase, draw one. If it's your battle phase, this gets +10 till end of turn.
Yep.
I'm convinced that this was supposed to be either a grade 2 or a 13k base, and they messed up.
Oh, it's a 10k.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
10k grade 3.
Yeah, I don't know why, because Lilfa is not the archetype that cares about having less power than standard. This card is good for Lilfa. Like, it's a free,
Yeah.
either a free draw or like additional power. And
Mhm.
Lilfa needs all the help she can get.
That's good.
I'm just so confused. I have so many
I know, right?
questions.
Yeah, okay. I'm calling it right now. There was some like misprint, and that it's either a 2 or this is supposed to be 13k base. My guess is this is supposed to be 13k because you have to go through more to make it a grade 3 by accident than you do to misdo the power.
So at the last minute, they decided to change it to grade 3 and never change the power? Hell yeah.
No, at the last minute, or not the last minute, they just put a grade 2 power on a grade 3. Because for a grade 3, you have to take off the shield and put a twin drive icon.
Yeah, because the thing is, like,
No.
Lilfa has to call grade 3 cards for her ability, but that doesn't justify it being 10k.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's 10k.
Hell if I know.
But
All right.
yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, it makes sense that it is. I think it is supposed to be a grade 3 because it's Lilfa support and she needs grade 3s. I just don't know why it's 10k.
Mhm.
Yeah. So next up we have Diva of Waterheart, Petronil. So when it's placed on rear guard circle, counterblast 1, look at top 7, reveal a prism. If you did not reveal a card, you soul charge 2. And then at the end of the battle, it attacks. If you have Vanguard with Labrador, you can return it to hand so it gets out of the way for you to call your prism cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is fine. I wish it was an actual prism name. And I
That'd be
think
cool.
Atlas Atlas just died, so
Perfect. Well, luckily we don't need him. Yeah, I was actually shocked to even start reading this thing and it wasn't Prism support, and I was like, what? Or that it was Prism support but didn't have Prism in the name.
yeah, that's
I thought
really
that was pretty
annoying.
Shocking.
Okay.
I was just like,
Well-
excuse?
Yeah, so while Atlas is not here, we're filling for time. It is very weird that all of the encounter cards for Bermuda did not use like classic Bermuda units for the ride line. Like they've been doing that for everything else, right? Like I have Vermilion here on my table, and it's like, yeah, we have like Spark Kid Dragoon, we have all the Dragoons, right? That were like classic vanilla units that go along with Vermilion. And so you would think they would do the same thing for like Prisms and Pacifica, right? Because
But
you
no.
have like Shizuku, Sedna, and Aqua as like the original vanilla cards for Pacifica, and they're like, no, here's these like random commons that we made up, right?
Yeah, because fuck you.
Yeah, fuck me, I guess. It's worse for Prism because it's like you actually do care about the Prism name, and they only printed 3 Prisms, which is
There's just Clear, Labrador, and who's even the last one? Celtic.
Yeah, it was like Labrador, Celtic, and Lady because they were the Prism promise.
Wait, it's not even Clear?
No, because Clear was with Vert.
Oh my
I know too much about how the Prism cards are arranged.
You're a fucking nerd.
Look, it's my favorite archetype. I'm going to be a fucking nerd about this one thing, okay?
I forgot Late existed, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Celtic is a double R, so we can. So I get to read that later. Oh God, Lady's also a double R.
Yeah.
Well, that means I'm. Oh wait, no, because they have the alt art that's like mermaid text. That annoys me that they don't even have like Halloween arts for the encounters. They just gave them like the mermaid text.
Yep.
Anyways, I feel like I've seen Atlas's cursor move, so I don't know if he's gonna like change cards as we move on or not.
You know, we'll find out. Which one?
But
are we
yeah,
on? Oh,
prison.
all right, cool. We're going to this one.
Okay,
Again, he went back. All right, cool.
there we go.
So here we go. There's only one thing that is precious, milligrams. What is the one thing? We'll never know. So an auto, probably candy if I had to make a wager. An auto on when this unit is placed on rear, if you have a Vanguard with Michu in its card name, you can put a card from hand to soul. Choose a cannonball card from your drop and put it in your hand. If your damage zone has 3 or more face down cards, and you did not countercharge this turn, countercharge 1. And then a continuous on rear. If your cannonball card was put into your order zone or drop from your order zone into the drop this turn, it gets power +10.
Michu definitely needed more rear guard pressure. I think it was one of those things where it's like the cannonball gave everything like 5k, which was okay. I feel like the numbers never got like super spectacular. I don't know. Michu is one of those decks that like on paper feel like it should have been better than it was at set 3, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
Anyways, I am extremely biased towards Michu because I have the LSR.
I'm aware.
not about to go into my closet to go find it.
I'm aware. That's why I was letting you do all the talking here. I was like, you're the expert.
Yeah, I'll admit I haven't really touched the deck in a while, but I
So
do
is the
like
thing
it
that
to be good.
Is the thing that is precious cannonballs?
Maybe.
All right.
Anyways.
All right. What do we got next? Should I read this one since Alice is Mia?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. The crystallization of special feelings, Barry Ann. So this is a friend. It's a grade 2. Continuous on rear. If you have another unit in the same column as this unit, they become friends, yada, yada, yada. And the continuous in front row rear guard circle. During your turn, if you have 3 or more other friends, all of your Vanguards with 4 TIA in their card names get power +5,000. And if your opponent's Vanguard or is grade 3 or greater, they get power +10,000.
I mean, that's nice. Like, making 4 stronger is like a good thing when the deck is all about restanding your Vanguard.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it has to be used with 4 TIA.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand. We don't want a repeat of what happened last time. But it's like we're gonna use all the friend cards with not the friends. Those cards are all good. Let's play that with something else.
Yeah. I do wish it kind of gave power to itself, though.
Well, it does if your opponent's grade 3 or greater.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So it's a 20k beater if your opponent's grade 3. But it always gives your 40 a 5k.
Okay, see, I misread that. I thought it only gave your Vanguard 10k still.
Oh yeah, it is pretty awkwardly worded.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be one of those things where it's like get 5k, or if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, it gets 10k. I'm
It's
like,
funny
oh wait,
because
no.
if without reading it, that's what you'd expect, and then you look at it and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, next card. Normally we would make Atlas do this because he is the Mediel player because I forced it onto him.
I can't believe you do that to someone.
I know, right? I wonder if I can force him to play something from this lyrical set.
You would never.
So I think what's happening is No, he was using. There you go. You're
Over
back.
my goddamn dead body. That's
That can be arranged.
Look, if you're gonna show up at my apartment again with your silhouette in the doorway, scare the shit out of me. Do it after I get married, please. All right, so
Just shave your face and then show up in his doorway. Matt.
he would too. All right, so Heartsome Smile Noelia, grade 2, 10k. If you have a Vanguard with Medial in this card name, put this unit into your soul. Choose one of your Vanguards, and until end of turn, when a card in the drop will be chosen by that unit's original act ability, choose 2 instead of 1. So, not bad, y'all. Not bad.
I will Mediel those. Please give me a second.
Okay, so it was act counterblast 2, reveal the top card, and perform the following depending on what it is. If you reveal the normal unit, put it into your hand, choose a card from your drop, call it to rear, and that called unit gets a crit. And then if it's a trigger unit, countercharge 1, choose a card from your drop, call it to rear. So, yeah, so you get to call 2 things instead of 1, and either give it a crit or just regular countercharge and call 2 things.
Right.
So, kind of nice. Great. I have to reach out to someone and go find this thing. God damn it.
Probably just send it to you.
I mean, yeah, go for it.
All right. Now we have Prism Promise Celtic. So when it's placed on rear guard circle from hand or put onto guard circle from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Labrador in this card name, it gets power and shield plus 5,000 until end of turn. At the end of the battle attacks, if you have Vanguard with Labrador in his name, Soul Blast 1, return it to the hand, choose one of your rear guards with Prism in this card name, return it to your hand. So, clearing out circles.
Always nice. Good.
Seems like this. They're forcing you to play this card with Labrador because it has Prism in the name.
Yes, you are. And, you know, it does that thing where it, like, bounces other cards and lets you start, like, figuring out combos from your hand that I missed about G-Era Prism, and I'm kind of glad that I get to do it again in Standard.
What do you miss about G-Era Prism exactly?
I just like the mechanic of bouncing things to hand.
That's fine.
Like nothing has ever really scratched that itch in the same way that Prism did. So I'm glad I get to just do that again.
It's funny too, because like in Great Nature, you can do something like, okay, not the bouncing, but the like battle phase calling from hand, where you can call from hand when your Vanguard attacks, and then that can combo into other stuff. It's usually with the Stoicheia D-era stuff, so like half your deck is like flower girls instead of animals. It's interesting. But yeah, I think that's about as close as you're going to get with that sort of deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, this does not, unless we start playing Labrador in Premium, this doesn't do very much there because it's locked to Labrador for some godforsaken reason instead of Prism. I'm still mad about that, and I will die mad.
Half of me wishes that the cup worked. If it, instead of like if you didn't ride, it was if your opponent's at grade 3 or greater. Because then you could use it in Premium more, where you're like, all right, you know, activate Persona Ride just anyway.
Yeah. Because right now, like, the only way for Labrador to be better than Vert is to, like, Persona Ride and then stride into, like, Helltrauda or Sunshine Vert. And that is both very resource intensive and very slow.
Yeah.
And also, in terms of numbers, because Vert can make the force markers, if you like re-ride and get a second force markers, it's basically the same, just that Labrador also gets a crit.
Yeah, which
but yeah, it sucks. Like, Premium support is already so sparse as it is, and it sucks that it's like we finally have new support for an archetype, and like playing a specific archetype is even worse, right? Because like who even knows? You're not even guaranteed the once a year just because they might print something like they'll print something that's generic and it might not even work for the archetype. And so it's like we finally get more archetype support for my favorite archetype, and it just like doesn't work very well in Premium. Kind of demands like a complete overhaul of the deck for what is, at least on turn 3, definitely worse.
And thus, another disappointment was born.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just wait for the second wave of support, or just like promo hell.
Promo hell, as in your deck only gets supported via promos, and they're super needed and expensive, like broken toys.
Yes.
Or whatever. Yeah. It's a rough time. All right.
Why is this?
Let's keep moving.
All right, who's next? Me?
Yeah.
All right, so Rose of Ecstasy Custodia. So this is one of the powerful cards. So it's a grade 2. When it's placed on rear, if you have a Vanguard with a powerful ability, you can Soul Blast 1, look at top 5. Choose one different card name from this unit and the powerful ability from among them, reveal it, call it to rear. If it's grade 2 or less, put it in your hand. Call it to rear if it's grade 2 or less, and put it in your hand if it's not. So that way it can add, your persona right to hand. If you put a card into hand, choose your card from your hand and discard it. Oof. And then powerful, if you have a Vanguard Herminian's card name and your soul has no cards, this unit gets shield plus 5,000.
Okay.
Cool, I guess.
Like, again, I don't know enough about powerful to really comment on this. I mean, it seems fine. It's a searcher. I think the important thing is searching out that one girl that gets you drive checks, right? So you can get 2 additional drives with the restand.
Right.
And then I guess also because before you persona ride, you have to discard a card with Herminia in its name. It is another thing that's just okay, finding a Herminia, although you do have to discard an additional card.
I don't know. I'm just noticing that her name is Custodia, which means janitor. So, imagine if someone's name was Daisy of Sexiness, janitor. I don't know. That's all. That's all that's really throwing up signals for me right now. So whatever. Haunted spot. All right. Haunted spot. Stana. Whatever. Grade 2, 10k. When placed on rear during your main phase, if you played 3 or more orders this turn, gee, I wonder what that's with. 4. Soul Blast 1, choose up to 1 normal unit with a different card name from this unit and call it to rear. That's actually pretty good. And then auto on rear, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, search your deck for up to 1 trick or treat and put it into hand.
It's fine.
Not too bad.
All right. We should probably start moving faster. There's still 8 more double Rs.
All right. Let's go.
Well, it'll also be just because I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah.
Magician's Work, Colby. So this is for the LVS. When it's placed on rear, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with that, Counterblast 1, choose one of your Vanguards, gets 5k. If your Vanguard's 23k, which will almost always be the case, draw a card. It's fine.
Okay.
It's basically a guaranteed draw, and more importantly, it gives your Vanguard 5k. And then it not gaining power or anything does not matter because all of your rear guards are going to be 33k anyways once you have all of the archetype names on the board.
Yeah.
Nope. A Magician's Work is almost done, and she has heterochromia, so fun for that.
All right. So next card, Watery Lollipop Marion. Is that the right one?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a grade 2. When it's placed on rear, if you have Vanguard with Leticia in its card name, you can discard a card, look at top 7, choose up to 2 cursed play cards from among them, and add them to your hand. So this is a couple orders that have the cursed something.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Cursed Sugar Sparkle and
Anathema Slap Twinkle.
Sure. Whoever named these things. Yeah. Reveal them, put them in your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, draw a card. And then continuous on rear. If you played a cursed play order this turn, this unit gets boosted.
Seems fine.
What is it about Lyrical Monasterio / Bermuda Triangle where it was you can search for stuff, but if you miss, it's okay. You can still draw. But everybody else, no. Fuck that. I don't know. It's just a pattern.
No, that's not true. Dragonic Overlord also refunds.
Because it requires playing something called a cursed play. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a blitz order.
Yeah.
One of them's a blitz order. The other one's a normal order.
Yeah.
So for Anathema, if you have a Leticia Vanguard, put it into your soul. Choose one of your units. It gets plus 15k for the battle. If your soul has 4 or more cursed plays, draw a card. And then Sugar Sparkle is the normal order. So if you have a Leticia Vanguard, put it into your soul. Soul charge. Choose up to 1 card from your soul with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard. Call it to rear. And it gets 5k. So for people who needed the refresher.
This seems
sure.
okay.
Yeah. Not bad.
This year was one of the stronger ones out of Lyrical 3. It was meta for half a second.
Yeah. So
I don't know if this will really bring it back, but
I think there's something to be said about decks being playable, where it's if something is playable and you can maybe worm your way to a top 8 or win your locals. That's not bad, and something to be said for a deck's quality, because not everything's going to be like immediately either obvious that it's good, especially as this format gets more complicated. So Ratfish Runner Juno is a grade 2. Act on rearguard once per turn. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Sienna in its card name, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's front or rear guards you may return to hand. If a trigger was Soul Blaster for this cost, choose one of your Vanguards, and that unit and this unit get plus 10k.
Cool.
Cool.
And there's the power for your Vanguard, I guess.
Yeah. And one more way to open the circle. All right.
Yeah.
Go, Matt.
Okay. Revival Ocean Solange. So when it's placed on rearguard circle, counterblast 1, look at top 7, choose a Pacifica, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you did not reveal a card, countercharge 1. When your other unit attacks from the back row in the center column, it gets 5k.
Cool. They should have had the name Pacifica on this somewhere. Revival Ocean Pacifica.
Nah, I don't need like grade 2. I mean, I wouldn't mind more Pacifica names just in general, but like, that's like not that important. Anyways, apparently if you're Bermuda Triangle or Dragonic Overlord, you get to refund your searchers.
Yeah, because fuck you, I guess.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna bother using that in premium though for Pacifica.
Probably not. It's just 5k isn't very impactful in premium.
And you already have like a million other Pacifica searchers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, next card.
Oh, you're right. They
First
really are leaning into the furry thing.
First local participant, Rabaria. So it's a grade 2, 9k. When it's put into from rear into deck during your battle phase, you can Soul Blast 2. Choose one of your back row units, move it to an open front row circle, and it gets power plus 10.
Okay, so this one actually makes sense being a 9k because it's for Hazaret. Okay. And Hazaret's whole thing is that the units all have less power.
Got it.
Because she gives them all 2k. So this is actually very good for Hazaret because it's a 5th attack. You already had the grade 1 that can move something from back row to a circle, and then this one is just like Soul Blast 2, move another back row thing to the front. So it's just a way to get more attacks. Soul Blast 2 is a lot, though. I distinctly remember having soul problems with Hazaret.
Gotcha.
Because I think the other extra attack also costs you soul.
I see. All right. Well, getting dangerously close to furry territory.
Yeah.
That's like the 8th time you've made that joke, and it doesn't get any funnier.
I mean, that was him, not me.
Okay.
See, I was just making an observation that they're leaning more into the furry aesthetic.
All right. Well, okay. Let's keep going.
I have now lost track. Is it me next?
Yeah. No, it's Atlas.
Yeah, so in search of limited edition Sweets Mildred. So it's grade 1, 8k. At the end of the battle, this boosted. If you played a magazine order and you have 3 or more units with different grades, put this into Soul and draw a card. All right.
I think you're remembering which is what is a magazine order?
I keep forgetting what is what.
See, I do know this. So that was for Kyoka. There's also a second magazine that's a promo because Bushiroad hates us.
Always
they announced the promo like right after the set was done revealing. I'm like, they're like a week apart. Why can't you just put it in the set? But anyways, the original Lyrical Shooting Stars is like play it when you have Kyoka, and then perform all the following according to the number of units: 2 or more grade 1s, draw 2, choose a card from hand, discard it. 2 or more grade 2s, choose one of your units, gets 10k. 2 or more grade 3s, countercharge 1. And then the new magazine order, because Bushiroad hates us, is that you can choose 2 normal units from different grade and grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from drop, column to rearguard circle. Then if you have 1 or more grade 1, 2, and 3 each, you can play up to 2 orders this turn, but you can only play Lyrical Shooting Stars. So basically the other issue, or the new magazine order, is just a way to set up the original one.
Okay, Fine.
And for some godforsaken reason, it's a promo and not in the set. Anyways, I think this card is really bad because just like put into soul draw card is like kind of a useless effect.
Yeah, and it's
I don't-
not super like no power, no
Yeah.
just soul and draw. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, Kyoko does need to like soul blast for her ability. I don't remember. I don't think that soul was ever that big of a problem.
Yeah, it's Gurdit had stuff like this in G, not even V,
Mhm.
G, that was better than this. So cool. Back up at the top.
Okay, so this is the other order cycle. So elaborate costume Ethnida. So if you play a normal order, it gets 5k, and when it's placed on rearguard circle, you can counterblast one, search deck or drop for one pretty demon coordination, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you search the deck, shuffle. So might as well just read the order while we're here.
Yeah.
So that one's like choose one of your rearguards. It gets auto rearguard circle. End of your turn, return to hand until end of turn. And at the end of the turn, you can discard a card from your hand, choose a copy of itself from drop, put it to hand.
Okay. You can recycle it should you choose to. Interesting.
I mean, they were all like that.
What, to recycle themselves?
Yeah, all of the orders from set 11 did that.
Gotcha. I know for the Stoikeo one, it was just if you had one in drop, you could.
All the normal orders recycled themselves. The Blitz orders didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Go, Matt.
Mine now? Or are we on
Yeah.
elaborate costume Ethidna? Is that right?
No, we
Yep.
just did that.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Rousing vocal.
Oh, well, sorry. Rousing vocal Luison.
Yeah.
So at the end of this is a grade 1. At the end of the battle, the unit boosted. Choose up to 2 cards with Pacifica in their card name, or you retire this unit. Choose up 2 cards with Pacifica in their card name from your drop. Return them to your deck and shuffle. If you chose 2 cards, countercharge 1.
This is like necessary just because you need to keep putting planet idols back in the deck.
Yeah, I assume they go into Soul, you Soul Blast them for effect, and then you run out of them eventually, and then you need them back.
Yeah.
It happens.
All right,
Cool.
and then I get to
Okay.
steal one from you again.
Yeah,
Yep.
go for it.
So Prism Promise Lady. So retrain of the original one. So it has the same thing going for the Celtic, which is when you place it, if you have Labrador or Vanguard, gets power plus 5k, shield plus 5k.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's returned from hand to rearguard circle, if you have Vanguard with Labrador, you can soul charge 1. Then if you didn't countercharge this turn, countercharge 1.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. It's worse than Princess Lady, which always countercharge soul charge, but we can't have too many nice things.
It's nice that it's a 10k shield. I hate that I'm happy about that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just like, oh, that's a nice thing on top
Yeah.
of like. I don't know,
In my initial testing, Prism actually ended up with like ridiculous hand sizes.
oh,
Admittedly, so part of it is that the hand size is inflated because you keep returning your own rear guards back.
yeah,
But you also do just naturally draw a bunch of cards because the ride line searches out Prism cards, and then you have a few support cards that just draw you additional cards. Like Labrador draws a card every time she attacks. Honestly, I think like if you survive long enough, deck out ends up being a problem.
yeah. I've noticed that since set 12, a lot of decks are just getting bigger and bigger hand sizes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that like decks that can either have effective guard restrict or ways to just shave hand, be it Battledore skill or a ton of attacks or whatever, are going to have an easier time than just big power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you're somebody with 4 attacks, they're like, okay, just take it then. Because not a lot of decks are aggressive early, and that means that when you get to grade 3, you have like 2, maybe 3 damage, depending. So the decks that can shave hand are going to have an easier time in this meta. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me finish this off here. Super aesthetic shots. So a grade 3 normal order, you play it with Counterblast 1. You get all of your rear guards get plus 5k till end of turn. So doing it to the player, which means that works for the whole field. It's like adding on top of your Persona ride, which
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know that this will see play, but it basically just gives you the what's her name, Tamayura effect, right?
Yeah. This almost seems like. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, it's fine. If there was like a generic lyrical unit that just cared about orders in general, this would be interesting.
Yeah, I noticed that like all the nations are getting like they search a specific order, and then you're supposed to play that uplifting him, a serious fight, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
But they're never like good enough to warrant play. So it's like, who is this for? This seems like the order that would be attached to that. Like you search super aesthetic, shot.
Yeah, except you don't do that. You search a much worse order that just returns a card to your hand.
Yeah. So kind of a bummer to end this on, but
very quickly, I want to read the ride lines for the encounter cards.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like we should try to do the ride lines for all of them, so if I can go quickly enough. So
Okay.
So it's like Diva of Greeting Gloom. How about I just present instead? I already have them pulled up.
Okay. Go then.
Okay.
Look, we're already at like an hour and 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
So
Am I showing the right thing right now?
no,
Monet?
Diva Unwavering Souls is what you got.
God damn it. Just
Diva
share
of
the
this,
entire
Diva of
window.
that.
There we go.
Okay.
How about now?
Rosalita?
Greeting Bloom Rosalita? Yeah.
Okay, so it's showing the right thing. Diva of Lamp Spirit, nice. So when it's rolled upon, look at top 7, choose 2 cards with Pacifica, reveal and put into your hand, shuffle. I think, Monet is the other Pacifica one. So when it's rolled upon by a grade with Pacifica, you can reduce the original act ability by Counterblast 1. For the Prism ones, you have Mariette. So when it's rolled upon by the grade 2, search your top 7 for any Prism, so you can also just grab Persona Rides. If you did not reveal a card, you can call it to rearguard circle. If you call a card, soul charge 1. Okay. And then the grade 2 is when it's rolled upon by Labrador, choose a card with Prism in its name, call it to rearguard circle. If you call it, draw a card.
Okay.
Let me try to find. I know. See ya. Let's just start control Fing.
I know that's what I was prepared to do in a second there.
Okay, so start. I want to show all of them because look at her. She's so cute.
She's this is the one for bag on the head, Gorgonite. Yeah.
Her bag like changes expressions. It's so cute. Bushiroad are cowards.
Well, okay. Medusa in Greek mythology was a Gorgon, so that's what they're getting at. Like if she takes the bag off, she turns you to stone.
Yeah, I know, but they're cowards for taking the bag off.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you meant like take the bag off so I can see it more. And
no, other way around. Keep the bag. Look at it. She's so happy right now.
That's true.
It's so cute.
It is adorable.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about Siana is that every iteration of her has the same defensive ability. So it discourages early rush because you can shred your opponent's hand very quickly.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
So this one's like, no, that's the grade 2. So grade 1 is when it's rolled upon by the grade 2. You can Soul Blast 1, draw a card, return your opponent's rear guards to the hand. Grade 2 is when it's rolled upon by a grade 3 card with Siana. You can choose a triggered unit or blitz order from drop, put it into your hand. So that's a nice thing to do. Is like discard one of them, get it back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Fen. Okay, so let's just go very quickly.
What was that? Fentanyl? No.
This isn't Behind the Bastards. But you know what else won't drug people with fentanyl?
What, the products and services that sponsor our show? You listen to it too? I didn't know that.
It started getting recommended to me on YouTube, so I've been listening to it every now and then.
Fuck yeah. I hope you listened to the G. Gordon Liddy episodes. They were fantastic.
Yeah, I think the one that got me in was the 6-part episode on Vince McMahon.
Oh.
We'll talk about it more later, but
yeah. Tangents, patreon.com/Nexus.
Yeah, so Fennel, the grade 1, when it's riding from the grade 0, you look at top 7, choose up to 2 of the order, put into your hand, shuffle. The grade 2 is when it's placed by riding the grade 1, you search top 7 for 2 of the trick or treat. So that's a very quick way to just fill your hand.
Okay.
And then finally, the only one that the rear guard ability is relevant, but grade 0, it's cute. Actually relevant because it has the name. The grade 1, when it's rolled upon by the grade 2, you can call it to rearguard circle. If you call a card soul charge 1, then at the end of turn you put it back into soul. And then at the end of the battle, attacks are boosted if you have a 23k or greater Vanguard with archetype name. Choose 2 grade 2 or less rearguards with different names and put them into soul, draw a card. So it's another way to draw, puts themselves back into soul, so less susceptible to removal.
Okay.
And then the grade 2 is if your soul has 2 or more grade 1s with the archetype name, when you would write a grade 3, you don't have to discard. And then when chosen by ability of your Vanguard, you can countercharge soul charge.
Not bad.
Neat.
Yep. So yeah, I like Lyrical set 4. I think Sienna is interesting, although maybe not like the strongest meta deck. As far as like actual contenders, like Herminia looks really strong. I tested Prism a little bit, probably my own bias, and maybe just me playing the other decks badly, but I think it like has some potential. Prism has some decent potential.
I think it does too.
The LeVar Burton archetype, I think, has potential, just because you are getting very large, right? Like, especially because of that one like grade 3, grade 1, or that grade 1 that has 3k power that just gives another unit 10k is a very easy way to get power for your archetype.
Yeah.
So very easily get to like 33, 43 plus. And so that means all of your rear guards are swinging for like 43, 53, 63, whatever, depending on like Persona Ride and everything. So I think that one is another one with potential.
See, we're getting these like the numbers are starting to go up more, and we're not really getting the defensive creep to get there. But you have Sienna, burnt Sienna, bag on the head, Gorgon, whatever, as like a harbinger of things to come, maybe.
But
it
what
also
Set
could be
14 has to offer.
You know, like so I'm looking at this and like it's not all that impactful now, but it's one of those things where it's like the glimmer of understanding that I'm seeing.
Yeah. We'll see what comes up with like Set 14 and beyond. I guess another thing we should talk about is the fact that like we're basically not really getting card of the day for a while. They're just going to be like previews for what's coming up on stream.
Yeah.
Because like coming up, we have the Triple R set, but that's only 2 new ride lines. The rest are reprints.
Okay.
And then we have like the Stride decks, but those only have so many cards in them, right?
Yeah. And
so it seems like for a little bit, things are going to be on the back burner because they're going to take a bit of a gap to start the next series now that So basically, like, Overdress is done, right? Like, you and all the guys are gone.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be another reboot, even though usually around Set 13 is when they start going, ooh.
Yeah, but remember, V only rebooted around this time because there were, like, 5 million side sets that aren't numbered.
Yeah, same thing with G, right? You got to set, I think, 14 was
and that is only because there's, like, in between every main set, there were, like, 3 side sets that had different naming schemes. Whereas with Standard, we've more...
Do that, yeah.
I mean, Standard also does that, but we also keep going for numbers with main sets, so, like... We are probably around, like, the same number of sets overall, just because of, like, Festival Collection and everything, but, like... I do think this is probably more going to be, like, the transition from, like, OG to G era, where it's just kind of a soft reboot.
Okay. So we're
probably... Either that, or they actually announce set rotation instead of branding it as a reboot.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is fine. I don't see that as super bad. Like, Matt, do you know when they announced like set rotation as a concept in Magic? Or...
in Magic?
Yeah.
It was pretty early.
Okay.
So let me see if I can quickly look this up.
Yeah. I don't know if set rotation is like the best idea for Vanguard, but it is one of those things where I think the branding would help instead of calling it. I do think if they have to like reboot the game again, they're just going to call it a set rotation next time because they don't want to brand it as a reboot.
But I also don't think there's a need to reboot, like meta-wise. It seems like, you have a couple of like awkward.
We definitely need more defensive power. But it'll be interesting to see like where they take things, because I do think there are certain aspects of D that I like don't really like, that I wouldn't mind seeing go away.
Like what? Actually, you know what? Hang on to that, because I think this would be a good like episode topic proper.
Mhm.
So stay tuned for next week, I guess. I know
Yeah,
that-
so it started in 1995. So remember, Magic started in like 93, right?
Mhm.
So it was only
Wasn't
a
a
few
lot.
years into the game that they're like, hey, set rotation where we're going to have the Dark and Fallen Empires. And then the Dark rotated and you had Fallen Empires and Ice Age. And it's just continued like that for a long,
Okay.
long time. So it's
All right.
really old.
So it's a more intrinsic part of the game as opposed to Boucher fumbling around in the dark.
Yeah, Pokemon has rotation, but it takes a bit longer for things to get rotated. It's usually by like generation.
Mm. All right. I know Yu-Gi-Oh does it, but now they're like.
Well,
trying
Yu-Gi-Oh has like
more.
a pseudo rotation with
Yeah. I mean,
Call it
Vanguard is
Vanguard.
basically
Sorry, your
the same.
DM deck. Sorry, your Dark Magician deck isn't good.
Just play Rush Duel.
Yeah, summon
Uh,
big dragons.
All right.
I
Well,
actually really would like to play Rush Duel, but I don't want to like play Duel Links for that.
Real.
me neither. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Get a whole ass bonus show with us every week. $10 patrons like Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, GNR, and Ali get their stuff from us a day early. If you want to find us on social media, at Nexus at Night on Twitter, Instagram, and all those other places, TikTok, YouTube. And how's about the rest of us?
Find me on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or my YouTube channel, The Epileptic Comic. I do sketches mostly about having epilepsy, but it's other stuff too. Or follow my other podcast, Generation Dan, anywhere you get your podcasts or on all those other platforms that I mentioned. So thanks everybody for listening. And until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm at.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night.